We're back. Can you believe it's already time to be back? I don't know. This last week I was like, ooh, I gotta write a lecture. Hold on. But anyways, sorry about lecture today. No, just kidding. Hi, you're dry. Let's wake up. Woo! Wanna shimmy it out or something? Welcome. So I get the honor every year of going over the rules. Rules are good. Catherine reminds me that rules are good because they stop from like things happening later on that we have to address backwards. So it really is good, but I don't love this part. But I do love this part. Welcome. I'm Angela. If you don't know me, I'm the teaching director. So you'll see me up here doing lectures at the second part of things after you go hang out with your group. Every once in a while, Catherine back there, she's our associate teaching director, she will be up here and she will lecture. And I will be taking a break. And you will get a blessing. Okay, so welcome. That's good. Go to the next screen. They've been welcomed. Do you feel welcomed? Good. No? Did somebody say no? Okay. No, I don't feel welcome. Okay, so CBS, Community Bible Study. We are an international organization, which is really cool. So they're headquartered out of Colorado Springs, and we're in, obviously, all of these places. United States, the North America, Europe, Middle East, North Africa, South Asia, East Asia, Sub-Saharan, and Latin America. There are also some that are not listed up there because they're not allowed to be listed. We are praying for those areas where they have underground groups, and they are very heavily persecuted. So keep those in mind as you're praying for CBS as a ministry, that there's some places that are not like us that get to come and have the liberty to come and worship freely without fear of persecution. All right, next slide. Okay, so North American region is 2 countries. It's Canada and the United States. And then we have 20,769 children and youth. That's a lot. 20,000 kiddos in the program in CBS, studying not just being taken care of, but learning scripture. That's really cool. Many of you might know that, like if they're 5 and up, 5 and under are all getting stories and they're learning the Bible as well. They're learning memory verses. But up above 5, they're actually studying what we're studying, but in their age limit. So that's really cool. So moms, you get to go home and talk about what you're learning, and they're learning the same stuff. It's cool, right? Moms who have been in this now a year, like, it's so fun. 74,000 adults are studying just in North America. I remember looking, it was like 600,000 in the whole world studying. And there were, is that right? Did I say that right, Catherine? I think that was right. Anyways, there's a lot of people in the Word. That is a good thing, people. All right, God's work in the region. So next gen, we are doing that right now. We have a next gen leader. Is she out here? She's probably running. There she is. There she is. She doesn't know I'm going to call her out. Jess. That's our next gen leader. So she is actually working to help us grow our class even bigger. So if we have kiddos between that, I think right now 13 is our oldest kiddo. So between 13 and 18, we're working on that. We're also, Catherine and her have joined efforts and are praying to see if we might be able to bridge the gap between 19 and 25. Because that's usually where we fall off, right? We're in youth group's going great, and we're good in youth group, and then we're done with youth group, and we don't really know where we fit. And we want them to come fit here. So we would love to have them. So that's what we're working on. We're prayerfully talking to churches and seeing if there's a need and if we can pull that. So pray for those. That's a gap that we want to be able to minister to. Let's see. Small groups. I don't think we have any small groups yet. But small groups is a new thing that CBS is doing. It's an online platform, 6 to 8 week courses. They are trained And I don't know a lot about small groups, but you know what? Catherine can tell you all about them. She knows about small groups. That's not my forte. Yep, she's got her mouth full with an apple, but someday she'll tell you about them. Next slide. Okay. Yep, kids. Okay, next slide. Okay, so our groups are for anyone who wants to find out more about the Bible. We are an in-depth Bible study, which means that we really dig into it. We go scripture by scripture, verse by verse, chapter by chapter, and this year we are studying Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, and then we are studying 1st and 2nd Timothy and Titus. We will be in Ruth, I think only like 1 week. And then we'll be in 1st and 2nd Samuel until February. So it's going to take us a minute. We're going to learn all about Saul, and we're going to learn all about David, and we're going to feel better about ourselves when we learn about David, because he messed up a lot, but God still loved him a lot. So that's good. Okay, insightful curriculum, real conversations, and we're right where you are. So hopefully you come and you feel like just you're in a group of people who are just like you, struggling the same, learning scripture, learning to trust God, and just foundationally building off of him. Okay, next slide. People of all ages, part of the community, not affiliated with any particular church. This beautiful church allows us to meet here, but we are not a part of Living Rock or Redemption. We might have people that go to these churches, but this is not their ministry. They just allow us to be in here, which is wonderful. And those pastors, obviously you see Mark out there, he helps us with the tech and stuff, because sometimes it doesn't work how we think it should work. And somebody pushed a button. There's usually one button. One button gets pushed, and then nothing works, and we can't figure it. So they're wonderful to help us. And our tech team is awesome to figure it out. And so that, and on top of that, both of those pastors are praying for us, which is the most important thing. So we really encourage you. This is a Bible study. This is not church. So you should be a part of a church. Okay, next. Well, that's a nice slide of the books. That's the books. Okay, next slide. Fisher. Okay, so we have a system called Fisher. So you can do the study in the book, or you can go online to Fisher, and you can actually do an online version of the study. So if you are of the digital age and you want to do it all on your computer or on your phone, you can. It's all right there. Commentaries are the last day. So tomorrow when you go home, or you're going to go home today. We're not spending the night. But when you go home, then you wake up tomorrow and you're like, I wonder what I should do for CBS. You should read the commentary. Now, I don't know about you, but we have a few busy moms in here. Raise your hand if you're a busy mom. Okay. Also, raise your hand if you just can't sit still and you don't like to read long things. Yeah. Okay. Audio. The commentary is on audio. So you can just put your earbud in and push play and do the dishes or play with your kids or do all the things that you're going to do and still listen to the commentary. I really recommend that you listen to the commentary. I do not teach on the commentary. It is theologians that have gone back over what you just learned for that week, and they explain it in better detail. So listen to the commentary. I am not a theologian. Okay, next. So this is how we log into Fisher, and Catherine actually will do a thing on this and teach you more. But you can do all these things. You can read the class news. You can see upcoming events. Like if we have our tea coming up, it'll be on here. If we have kids program coming up, it'll be on here. You'll see where we're located. Our previous lessons are on here with the lecture. So a video of me lecturing or Catherine lecturing. If you were really bored that day, you can watch that. Okay, next slide. Okay, so audio, so when you log in and you go to My Courses, you can see the commentary, adult or audio commentary. So you can click that and listen. You can also see the question there, and you can write your answers. So the really cool thing about doing it online is that you never run out of space. How many of you have done it in the book and you're like, they didn't give us enough space? And then those little young ones that are doing it online are like, well, you just press enter and you get more space. And we all roll our eyes at you who do the book. No, I do the book still. So I am old school like that. But you will get more space. So if you like more space, do it online. Okay, next slide. There you go. That's how you get in. Fisher.communitybiblestudy.org. If you want to write that down, you can. And you set up your own password. I think they give you a login, so yeah. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Did everybody get it? All right. We'll go to the next slide. All right, so registration and fees. So many of you paid a registration to be here today to get your book, and we really appreciate that if you did. If you're unable, if there's ever a moment in time when funds are tight and you can't afford the book, that is absolutely okay. We have scholarships for that very purpose. We don't want anybody to go without the Bible study, and we have lots of people who give that make it possible for us to have people here who can't afford the book, and that's okay. Okay? I did it for 3 years, received that scholarship, because I was a broke young mama. But we pay $35. Where's Carol? She's out there. I believe we pay $35. Is that right? Is that what you paid? $35. But our actual cost, the actual cost for the curriculum for a year is $215. I was telling the ladies in leadership today that is crazy to me, because when I first would do these, it was $85 for the year. So that's inflation. But anyway, so $215. So if throughout the year you feel like God is saying, hey, give to that ministry, please do, because that is what the CBS is actually covering, so that we are enabling everybody else to get the lessons for $35. That's pretty generous. So we know that we have a lot of people in this huge organization giving to make this possible, not only for people who can't afford the study at all, but for us to afford it at such a low cost. So if you're one of those, thank you, and consider giving. Okay, next. You can donate online. Look, they have a QR code. There you go. Okay, next. Next. It is tax, what's that word? Deductible, there you go. All right, this is what class funds go towards. IT support, curriculum development, Fisher development, overall CBS ministry, class administrative needs, and then our kiddos ministry. So it pays for things, and you can delineate. So you can say, I want this money to go to the kids program. And we buy, all their craft supplies and all of that stuff, plus their materials as well. And then Fisher development, obviously that's our whole portal, online, everything. I remember when that was being developed. I can't remember when that was, but I was in Spearfish at the time. And I remember it was like a $3 million deal, or so. It was huge. It was a big deal. And then like 2 years later, we had to amp it up because it was out of date already. So that's what those funds go to. All right, next slide. Content. Okay, your core group leader is going to go over these dates. And you will go to, I think it's is this page 1? Or is this part of the Roman numerals? But the contents will be, so you'll fill in the dates. So we start with 9/9, obviously. Today is the introduction. And they'll also tell you how to go home and start your study and what day is what day, right? Gretchen's looking at me with these eyes like, I think I know. You're going to do great. Next slide. Oh, we have There's a memory verse section in the back. So if you like to memorize memory verses or scripture verses, they have a whole section of verses that pertain to what we are studying this year, so that you can, by the different weeks, learn the verses that are pertaining to what section of the scripture that we're in. You can put them on your fridge, you can tear them out, you can, whatever you like to do to memorize scripture. And then next slide. Maps and charts. I don't know what that's about. Next slide. All right. Community Bible study is available to all, and we are glad you're here. And so what we're going to do, it's for everybody. We focus on Scripture, what is learned from the passage, listening and respecting one another's answers, emphasizing subjects that unify rather than subjects that divide. We don't talk about politics. Not at all. And we also don't talk about what our pastor talked about at church on Sunday. That's not what we're here for. So we are here purely to study the Word. And we want to hear what God gave you as you studied the Word. We love that you go to church and that you love your pastor and what he has to say too, but that's not for here, okay? However, if you have questions, there are many times where I will say, you should ask your pastor, because that's not a question for me. And then, avoid topics like politics, churches, denominational differences, and then just relax and engage in discussion as you're comfortable. So some of you are new, and so you might not want to talk for like the first 3 months, but we encourage you to talk, answer some questions. More 3 years, we've really had to work on some of you to get you to open up. No, we love to hear what God has given you, and the answers are not right and wrong. We do not have the answer book. There's no answer key. It's called the Bible. We're all learning from it. I'm learning from it as well. And so I'll stand up here and I'll tell you what I got, and I'll lecture on what God gave me out of that particular scripture, but I'm not the hear-all, end-all, say-all, whatever. I am still struggling through life just like you guys, and I'm going to learn stuff this year, and I'm going to go, did you know that? And you're going to go, yeah, duh. And I'm going to be like, well, I didn't. And that's okay. And then there's going to be times where you're going to be like, I didn't know that. That's okay too. So that's what we're here for. We are here to dig into the Word so that we become more and more like Christ, right? All right. And so much grace. Answer the questions and say them out loud. Okay, next. Now meet your core leaders. Yay, I'm done. That was fun. Okay, who are your and your core groups are full right now. So have some grace on your core leaders.